Good day, everybody. Here we are with another roll revealed. This one right on the heels of another 1953 roll is this 1953D roll. Hang on just a second. My camera isn't working. I knew I didn't check something. There we go. I looked down to see the roll and it wasn't there because my camera wasn't working. Okay, here we go. There we go. We're ready now. Got this 1953D roll. We're going to go ahead and get the coins out of it and get started. The bear of the whole thing is that trip to West Virginia. Okay, I can't get the bottom coin out of the roll. There we go. Damned Harris tubes. The coin did not get damaged in that process. I'm throwing this tube out, though, because the tube is worthless. H.E. Harris tubes should be outlawed. Good morning, Arizona coins. Got Jackalope, James Valley, Eric SFC, Sergeant First Class, Dan McCumber. Then D.C. Yeah, the problem with the whole purchase thing that I did in West Virginia was more an issue of I was kind of not expecting what I saw because the conversation on the phone was a little different than what it ended up being. And let's see. Okay. I need to do that this way. I'm confusing myself. All right, coin number 1 is going to be for Paul Hampton. Everybody hear me just fine. I have a new pop filter on my microphone. I want to make sure everybody can hear me, that I'm loud and clear. All right, coin number 1. Just shaking things up just a little bit. We've got a fingerprint. Let me calm the lighting down just a little bit. It's a bit hot. There we go. Okay, being told loud and clear, 5x5, good deal, thank you very much. A little bit of a spotty coin here on the end, but it's not too awful bad. But we have nothing. We're going to check the reverses on the first 10 coins in this roll. And then we're going to, stop collecting insanity because there is nothing known for the reverse of 1953D. Just a good shake of nice RPMs are known. But anyhow, the story. When I got there, I was already kind of, sort of stuck into what I found. And what I found was a lot of bulk that takes a lot of work to sell, to transport, to do anything with. I'll zoom in just a little bit so I can see a little better. I think this might be a minor RPM. And I think it is. A little minor RPM. Yep, you can see it there on the upper serif at least. Let's get us a marker so we can go through this roll with a little more speed. I got 2 big dots over there on the shirt. 2 big die dots over there. So we're going to use that as our marker. Take a look at the rest of this and see if there's anything else going on here that we need to pay attention to. But when you are served lemons, you make lemonade. So I went and did my due diligence in making sure that I had something that was worthwhile when I came out of there. And so we loaded up all the weight we possibly could. I made him an offer. He accepted the offer, and we drove back home. Once we got back here, I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures. I had roughly a 1,500-pound payload that was full of pretty much just copper. Man, the fingerprints. Would you stop? Got nothing on that one. And so it's been a haul. I won't steer you wrong on that. It has been a haul. Working on trying to get all this stuff wrapped up for sale. trying to get it all ready to go. The payload was a bear. It was heavy. It was not really worth the effort, but it's what we had to get, so it's what we got. And came back home, and I'm doing the best I can with it. Sold a number of pounds of it already. I think I've sold, out of the 1,500 pound payload, I would say probably maybe 50 or 100 pounds of it was supplies, boxes, jars, whatever. Maybe 100 pounds of it. Milk crates that were carrying the jars. You know, that stuff isn't exactly weightless, so you have to count all that too. The coins themselves were probably closer to 1,100 pounds, maybe 1,300 pounds of coins. And those, out of those, I've already sold about 300 pounds of them. Thank you. So I still have a lot left. All the bulk sales guy on eBay are sold out. Really? I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what would happen if I did place a bunch for sale up on eBay. Oh, this is interesting. I've seen this die before, a long time ago. It looks like he's got a big worm crawling out of his eye. And I have no idea what it is, a scratch of some sort, but I don't know. It's on the die because it is standing out on the coin. It's just a very interesting anomaly on a 53D. Let's see. Man, the fingerprint, seriously? Dude, I thought I had a really good roll here. All right, on to Mickey. Let's see what we can do for Mickey here. Yeah, I got nothing. I'm actually really looking for, it's a D right here on the front of the vest. And that one's actually quite valuable. And it's one that not a lot of people have ever heard of. Just trying to figure. Yeah, big spots. Just trying to figure whether this is even a finishable roll. It looks good until you start popping into the individual coins. All right, here's one for DC. Let's see what we can do for DC. Let's see, can I do anything for DC? No. Unfortunately. Just another 53D. But yeah, the idea that I'm trying to get caught up from the trip to West Virginia is actually true, because when I got the coins back, we started separating them into bags, and then I started rifling through the bags to figure out what I was doing with them. And as it so turns out, I am having to actually look at every single coin. Not under a microscope or anything like that. I mean, I'm looking at every single coin because there are zinc cents mixed in. And there are, see, this one's for Sissy. There are zinc cents mixed in. There are a lot of totally ruined coins. I mean, coins that are just really bad. That's a new, different one there. That one has that die scratch between the 9 and the 5. I kind of like that as a marker. And so between the zincs to completely ruined coins, that's enough. But then out of like 6 bags of these pennies, I've pulled out like 150 Canadian pennies, and I don't want Canadian pennies in this. This isn't what people are buying. They're not buying Canadian. I'm not giving them Canadian. I'm rifling that stuff out. And of the completely wastoid coins, and the zincs and the Canadian out of was about 250 pounds, 300 pounds of the coins. I have so far pulled out maybe 20 pounds. So I'm at about a 1/10 failure rate on this. I can't sell that. So I'm going through and making sure the lots that I'm selling are actually sellable. I know what you guys are looking for, and I know how to provide what you're looking for. And that is my intended point, is to make sure these are searchable, decent looking coins that don't have a lot of crud and corrosion on them. Some of these things look like they came out of a water fountain. You know, the grayish color of, like, it's almost like mold on cheese that builds up on the coins. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice there. You see it? It's a nice Southwest RPM right there. I like that one. Who was that for? That's for Alex. Mr. Wirebay. Let's get in close to be sure you guys can see this. There it is. You can see the extra vertical right there on the outside left edge. And there you go. There's an extra curve on the inside. Yeah, we do. Get enough Canadians in the crap you get from the bank. Well, this was supposed to be, the uncle had saved copper pennies out of change, since copper pennies were basically the only thing. And when they found out that they were making them out of zinc and started making them out of zinc, he continued keeping the copper ones. I was kind of confused about 1982, thus eliminated 1982 from a lot of what he kept, but he did keep a number of 82s, half of which are zinc, and I'm having to weed them out. Oh man, this is just bad. I mean, that's not a fingerprint, that's a palm print there. Yeah, this is that's not a keepable coin. I'm only, what, 8, 10 coins in. I'm debating on the idea of whether I should just put the rest of this roll away, or if I should continue with this roll. If I put the roll away, I'll get a different roll out, and I'll restuff 1 through 10, and then move on with 11 through 50 for just the new roll. I think I'm going to do that. So the first 10 coins I've done here so far are free. Not charging anybody anything for those. Oh, that damn tube. I threw it away. That's right. I was looking for the tube these came in. Not gonna find it. It's not out there. I'll put them in this nickel tube here until I can find a good place for them. Some of these will go in copper, but most of them will go into singles batches. Okay, so the first 10 people here are going to get 2 coins. Just because I don't want to go pulling them back out. None of them were in really the condition you guys are actually paying for. So what I'm going to do is just start a new roll. Hang on just a second. Okay, here's another 1953 D roll. Check a few coins here and there and see that these are at least relatively clean. They appear to be relatively clean. So we're going to redo the process with all new coins. There we go. Okay. Coin number 1, again, Paul Hampton. And much nicer coin on the top end here. Let me back out a little bit so I'm not trying to do a molecular study on the coin. There we go. Hey, Frosty. You haven't missed a thing because we're on coin number 1. We went through a partial roll and found way too many fingerprints and other garbage on the coins. And so I stopped the process and got a new rollout, which is why now we have a whole new bank of coins here. The one thing I did not remember to do was keep the RPMs out, so these aren't going to be separated when they get to Eric. Sorry, Eric. Let's see here. It's just a little bit too bright. Make it knock it down just a little bit here. So I was going to do a number of reveals today, and I kind of ran into a scheduling conflict with Eric's reveal. And so I ended up having to schedule for later. Thus I did. But my wife is coming in from a week in Arizona working in probably the next hour. And I am going to be nice to my wife and not be in the middle of running shows when she gets home. So I am going to kind of postpone the rest of what I have here. Wait a minute. Let me get my volume up just a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to postpone the remainder of the shows I was going to do. Jesus, what is it with fingerprints in 1953D? Well, at least it's not horrible. But anyway, I'm going to spend at least part of the day with my wife because it's a beautiful day outside. We have a forecast high of 73 degrees today and a forecast high of 45 tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm pretty sure we're going to be stuck in the house pretty much all day because my wife doesn't like weather below 80 degrees. Seriously. And so I will be spending tomorrow with everybody here, spending today with my spouse. Probably grocery shopping and doing those other necessities that we generally do together on the weekends. So, make it through this roll with you folks, and then I have to cut out for a while. I do have 7:39 scheduled for later in the day. That's a 54S roll. I may have to move that to tomorrow. We'll just see, because I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the day. We haven't spoken with one another regarding what our plans are for the day. So I will have to let you guys know by rescheduling the show. Rescheduling. These aren't a lot better than the other roll, but they are substantially less larried. And I may end up doing a couple of reveals tonight, like late tonight. That is the one thing that I wanted to speak with everyone about before it actually begins to happen. I am going to be scheduling reveals for every week. I am going to be selling reveals pretty much every week. But I have kind of changed my brain mind on exactly how I'm going to carry them out. I tried the express roll idea, but it was a severe time suck, and it was a lot worse than what I already had going. So I decided quickly to stop doing that. And my apologies that you guys are going to get a couple of reveals that you did not see on camera. But I have changed my mind on the reveals, and there's going to be reveals every reveal will be a live event. The difference, the change, is that they are not all going to be at times when you're generally going to be awake. I cannot schedule all my reveals for the time period that my wife is not available and that I am not required to be working on something else or doing something else, like an auction, a pull, coins and coffee or other things like that. I have to be able to get some time to work on my website, work on the navigation of copper coins. I have to get time to work on videos for YouTube. And if you guys haven't noticed yet, there is a quite large collection of relatively new videos on YouTube, and I am certain that the foot traffic that we get in these shows is very related to the shows that are produced for the channel. In fact, traffic in these shows, this is pretty nice 53D here. Traffic in these shows is, I'm going to say, almost wholly dependent on my creating videos and shorts, because I have seen a lot of people in the pulls, in the reveals, and on the auction stream that I have either not seen before, or have only seen a couple of times, or haven't seen in a year or two, that are here now watching, commenting, speaking, getting comfortable with everything. And that is, I think, solely because of all the hours that I've spent on creating the videos to begin with. And that means I have to be spending the time to do that. So while these reveals do help a lot in the overall analytics, they are time consuming. It takes time to do them. I love doing them, but it just takes time. And I have finally got myself to a point where I understand my software well enough to be able to use it and be able to get good imports and exports. And I am creating videos, just like I have wanted to do since opening a YouTube channel back in 2016. All right, we're moving over to the obverses only. We're up to the point where the other roll has been tucked away because it was worthless pretty much. And this roll isn't a heck of a lot better, and there don't seem to be any RPMs or double die obverses in this roll, but we're still looking. And John Hanna, hello, good day to you. Anyone out there who has not yet registered to bid in the auctions or be an active part in, there is a nice RPM right there. That one has a bar in the center of it, it appears. It has a hit on the upper serif, and it also has a hit going up the vertical stem, but I can see that the both of the serif areas are swollen and misshapen, which means that there's double split serifs, both of them. So this is an RPM. Back to my subject. For those who have not yet registered to get themselves involved in the Copper Coins channel, it costs you absolutely nothing. I only bug you about once a week with an email. And that's just to remind you I've got a show coming up, because I don't trust YouTube's notification system. In fact, their notification system absolutely sucks. That was for Carl there, actually. For anybody who might have missed that. And so what I'm concerned about doing is getting as much information and as much goodies out to people that I can possibly get out there. And in doing that, I'd like to see more and more and more people come watch these shows, because I have noticed that there are some people, unnamed, who are on YouTube producing misinformation, and they have huge subscriberships They have huge viewerships, and Copper Coins sits back here flailing in the dust of all the other people who have somehow crawled well beyond. And I sort of figured out why that happens. Well, it happens because if you don't really produce a number of videos and you don't produce the education and you count on other people to provide education, you're very remiss. And if you want people to know the truth and you want them to know the truth the right way, because there is a wrong way to teach and there's a right way to teach, you have to actually produce it and put it out there. And all of the quote-unquote competitors out there are, well, not all of them. There are some people who are really good people who are putting videos out there, and they're actually good videos. Most of those people, like myself, have relatively small followerships and not a ton of subscribers. But I'm telling you, since I started doing the production on a regular basis of new videos and putting them out there, it has grown my channel by double. Frostbite always gets good sourced AI. No, Frosty's one of the good people. He's one of the good guys. His channel's a good place to go. Coin Q&A is another decent place to go for information if they get their shows back together. Blue Ridge Silverhound actually doesn't give out bad information. He's pretty good. His market report is actually something that's rather interesting to note. There are a number of other channels out there, some of which I agree with their content, some of which I don't, some of which are easy to watch, some are not. And there's for every real person, for every real studied actual numismatist doing something about creating videos and educating people, oh, that's nice. It's another one of those. Little RPM there, I like that. For every one decent numismatic student who creates videos and puts them on YouTube trying to teach people stuff the right way, there are at least 10 more who are either bots, AI, or some person who has studied how to grow channels and at all costs to proper information is putting out plethora of videos. That is a doubled eyelid. Pretty nice little doubled eye right there. I did say doubled eye. A doubled eye that is a doubled die. Oh my, the double die. How good of a real tongue twister could we come up with using those words? Doubled eye, eyelid, doubled die. Hey, there's another one. A double die. I love you guys. I love you, man. You help the real, effective educators come out and play reindeer games with everybody else. I am from an era that did not have internet, that did not have direct connection to the people who wrote the books, except through the mail, which, although it be much cheaper back in those days, it was still no more reliable and still took no less time. If you had a coin you wanted attributed, you had to write a check or put cash in an envelope with your coin and send it to someone. It took 5 days for them to get it, a month for them to work on it, and 5 days for it to come back as either good or not good. But there was really no communication otherwise, not by text or phone or anything like that, because, well, texting didn't exist. The best you had if you were a doctor or a lawyer was a pager. and that's not going to help you much. Not in this particular case. And so it was a little difficult to get information across. And now we're in this totally instant live streaming era where all kinds of stuff can happen. And we still have a number of people out there doing the books, doing the attribution stuff, and doing all the writing who, for some reason, don't want to seem to be real people to the public. They publish information, they publish books, they write books, they're decent people, there's nothing wrong with them at all. But when it comes to social media, they are complete clams. They don't say anything, they don't do anything, they don't respond to questions, they don't respond to pretty much anything. And this works for roughly 2/3 of all the people out there who have a place in the Numismatic Literary Guild of authors who write and publish books on the subject. And these are people who actually write the books, not the ones who plug a bunch of keywords into AI and have AI write the book and say that a 1945 penny without a mint mark is worth $500,000. I have actually seen that. Right? The classified ads in the coin magazines. I remember that. I can also remember back in 1984, I saw an advertisement in the back of Numismatic News or Coin World. That's another one of our little RPMs there. That said the 83 DDR. And they wanted like $100. And then there was an 84D, and it said D/D. Well, when it says D/D, you think D over D. So I'm trying to find 1984D coins to check for a huge RPM because they wanted $60 for those. And I thought, man, if I could find a $60 coin in my change, well, I'd be rich, right? And I spent almost a year looking for a 1984 D over D before I found out, and it sort of dawned on me, that the person who did that ad was using D over D to shorten doubled die. And I didn't know that it was the doubled ear that I was looking for, so I could possibly have missed some. Here's another one. Another one of our little RPMs. I kind of like this roll. It's in much better shape than the last one. There's a struck through on the L. That is, something got lodged on the coin on the die and was struck through and then fell out. That's why you have a kind of a shiny pit with a sharp edge like that. Oh yeah, the ads are still in the magazines. The magazines still exist. I can't tell you for how long, but for now, they do. We've had companies go out of business who used to make our books and magazines because too much of everything has gone to ebooks or websites or something like that. I'm partially guilty for that, but I like to try to stick with the times. I would much prefer have it so that if you want to share information that's good information, you have to go through the process of publishing a book. And the biggest reason for that is that websites, ebooks, and like Amazon published books, and I'm not picking on Amazon, it's all the print-on-demand stuff where an author creates a book file, sends it in, they lay it out, and give you a cover and create your book for you. Things like that, they're not edited. They're not edited for content. They're not proofread. The images are often not the property of the author. They're the property of someone else who actually worked to make them available, but not for republication. When they started using 2-number punches on the dates, no, I don't. I don't know when that happened. It was my understanding that with the entire Lincoln Cent series, my understanding means I saw it somewhere, heard it somewhere, don't remember where, can't cite the source, and can't be cited as a source, but it was my understanding that it was 3 digits were punched in to the master dies. So when they took the Galvano, reduced it to create master hubs, they had no date. Then they flipped them over and did master dies, and then they punched the date into the master die, which thus recreated it to all the working hubs and working dies. It was my understanding that that started with Indian cents. Not all of them, the later Indian cents, like the ones that are extremely common and have a lot of different dies, but was a thing through the entire Lincoln Cent series, which if that transfers over to other coins, it would have started with the series after the Barber series for the dime, quarter, and half dollar, and then for probably piece dollars. I know that the late Morgan dollars were made in a different fashion than the early Morgan dollars. You get to, I'm going to say probably 1900, the 1890s, around 1900 maybe. The dies just looked different. And 1921 Morgans, yes, they've got the Morgan design, but if you're really a student of Morgan dollars, the 1921s just really aren't Morgan dollars. They're almost like mint-made fantasy restrikes of what the Morgan dollar actually was. Yeah, I know they're real. I'm not saying that they're not Morgan dollars. I'm just saying they're not like Morgan dollars, because Morgan dollars were made a little differently. But anyway, if I had to go with the 3-digit punch, they kept the 1 in the Galvano for all the dates so that they could properly align the other digits with the 1. So the 1 stayed in the Galvano, and it was reduced with the remainder of the date throughout that period of time, which I can't name. I believe all of that ended in the 60s, 1960s. Yeah, I agree. A lot of our coins had at least some character at one point in time, and, well, through time, that's just kind of been obliterated from our coins. Our coins have no character anymore. A lot of them have relatively nice designs, but the problem is when they have to carve them into the dies so shallow that they have no relief, they have no story. There's nothing left of the art. Ho, farm dog. Good day. This was kind of going to become more or less the topic of the different shows I was going to put together called Coins and Coffee, where we could just sit and discuss this sort of thing, and I'd bring people on to the panel to talk and ask questions and answer questions. You guys had questions, you could get in a line, and I would give you the Discord link to be able to get into the voice chat if you had a microphone and wanted to speak. Trying to figure out how I can make it that you can call in on your phone. That would be really cool, to have a show where I could say, okay, next caller from west of the Rockies, go ahead. And then you'd be able to speak. But I haven't figured that one out yet. Oh, Frosty, if you're creating a video where you're trying to use the information that I'm giving you right now, please get another source, because I am spewing out what I remember, and I have very little study time involved in this. So what I'm saying is that there is a good chance that I'm wrong. Not my subject. It should be, but it's not. Alex, coming back to Mr. Harvey. Another little RPM. I'm actually looking at this for something, figuring out what all this weird stuff over in the 3 is. But we've got that upper serif on the D. That is definitely an RPM. Good. Take it at face value or less. It is merely a gut. And my gut is fat and has a lot of stupid stuff going on in it. It is funky, isn't it, Eric? It is a little weird. I'll have the other Eric take a good look at it. Get my little hand out of the way there. There is a nice RPM. That's a good one. And that right there will show you 100% that there is a different D mint mark style. 1953. There are 2 different D mint mark styles. One of them looks more like your normal D, and this one almost kind of looks like it has the corner of it pulled like taffy. It's a little strange. Different shape. This is the large D, and then the small D is the other one. And decent coin. Nice RPM. Schön bedeckt. JJ Addict. Let's see what I'm shipping back to my hometown. I am going to start the idea of trying to work up getting some corporate sponsors for these shows. And if I can get some good sponsors that will pay decent money on advertising, I may have like 2 sponsors per reveal. But what that will do, it will enable me to sell reveals for like, 50 cents. And get like this 1953D would be like $1.50 a coin. Get you guys some coins a lot cheaper because, well, my sponsors for the commercials I have to read out to you or put up on the screen for you will be paying for your coins. So anybody who knows any place that might be the right place to ask about sponsors, I would definitely be receptive to the idea, because I have close to 1,000 of these shows now to show them that this is definitely a lasting idea, and it sells, and people come around. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I will place your coin now inside this guardhouse archival safe double pocket flip, made of mylar, not PVC, so they will not ruin your coins. Get guardhouse, and that's my commercial. And then they would give me, like, I don't know, $50 to do that during the show. And that $50 could go into partially the payment of the flips themselves, or perhaps maybe I could get them to send the flips for nothing so I don't have to add them into the cost if I'm doing a commercial for them. There's another one of those with the Funky 3, Funky Town 3, and the little D thing going on up there. And I do believe if I get really close to this, I'm going to try something here. I get my light a little bit brighter so we can see what's going on. I think there are 2 extra D serifs up there. I'll point to them for you. You can kind of see them. Okay, there's your 1 serif, and then there's a second one here. And I think this little thing down here is another, like a 3rd serif. Let's level our light out just a little bit and look underneath and see what we have down here for the lower. Yep, there's 3 serifs down there. So, yep, this is a tripled D mint mark, D over D over D. And then we have to ask the question, what the heck is all this? Well, right now we don't know, but Eric and I will definitely be talking about it at some point later on. How about that? All right, coin number 50, going to Dan. And yay, my wife has not shown up at home yet. She has likely landed. She's likely in town. There you go. That one's kind of sweet right there. Definitely an RPM. Both serifs are split on this one. So that one's going to Mr. Macumba. Let's see here. Pull that down just a little. And finish looking at this last coin in the roll. I'll tell you what, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 reveals left to do. I will be getting those done during the day tomorrow and on Monday. We will have a reveal sales show Monday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll need to be registered with us prior to getting involved in these reveals and having these coins sent to your house. That means that you need to send an email to that email address down there on the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Let me know who you are. Let me know your email address you want a PayPal invoice sent to. You don't have to have a PayPal account to receive and pay a PayPal invoice. All you have to do is click a link in the email that you get with your invoice in it and click on pay, and then you can enter your debit or credit card information in there. You can also pay me using Venmo. And, well, this is the end of this show. I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great day, great weekend. I hope your weather's as nice as mine, and I'll talk to you in, just a little while, I guess. We'll be up sometime this evening. See you then.